Hello, hello, hello. Today is a lovely day and I cannot see shit with these glasses on. While the car warms up, today I'm going to pop down to Tesco's, get some stuff, and then we will be reviewing the Mark IV R32. I've had it for a few months now, so I've got a grips with it. Let's go.
I don't speak Queen's English, but I'm still distinguished. Don't need no suit or tie to let you know I mean business. I know you're into this, even if you were deaf, blind and dumb and awkwardly rhythmless. I'm like syphilis, ain't no denying this wickedness. Any attempt will be grimy and hideous. Young and I'm black and I'm ignorant, but I'm still frivolous, meaning I'm niggerless. More than aware of the strength of my ligaments.
So dirty. Right, Tesco's is done. Fiesta there, just drove past with an RS style. Probably a 1 litre, still looks quite nice though. An RS style exhaust, I should have completed the sentence where I moved on. But anyway, as you will be aware, this is my car, the Volkswagen Golf R32, the 2003 model. Putting out around 241 brake horsepower and somewhere near the same figure in torque. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm the most the most knowledgeable person when it comes to cars and things like this. I know a little bit, and I've owned this car now for about 3 months now, coming up on. Obviously I've had it long enough to do a few things to it. Lowered it on KWV1s, awesome coilovers. Probably not the best time to say that, as I'm juddering up a road. I will say, compliments to KW, these are probably the best coilovers I've ever sat on. When it comes to this car, the suspension isn't brilliant to start with. It's quite a firm ride, but the KWs, unlike my FKs on the old Polo, like you could tell it was on, like FKs, you could tell they were budget. Like the way they sort of crash through everything. They weren't too bad. I've heard a lot worse about FKs, sorry. And I've heard a lot of people say how bad they actually are. But for what I paid for my FKs when I first bought them, like £200, like you're not going to get much better than that unless you go like JOMs. And fun fact, I did actually try and get JOMs, but they were backlogged. So it would have been 3 months before I got mine, or I could have had FKs in like the next day. So, you know, needs must. If I was to rate this car out of 10, I would give it an 8.5. I love the way it can pull, and the fact that it does pull when it needs to. But it's not like an all-out speed kind of car. Big bump, big bump. The way I'd describe it as is like a mile muncher. It's like a cruising car. Like the power's there, but it's not the be-all and end-all. Like it is relatively comfy. It will sit easily at 70 miles an hour, the speed limit, because we don't break laws in England. There are cameras everywhere. It will sit quite happily at 70 miles an hour. If you're feeling brave, 72. Obviously, yes, it is a little bit heavy, but I've driven this car, obviously in England, it's 90% of the time it's raining. Today is a good day and it's only grey skies. It was sunny earlier, you would have seen me with the shades on, but that lasted about 8 minutes. Good points about the car. I'll list my favourite 5 things. Number 1 is the sound. It has to be said, stock. This car, it burbles, it growls, grunts. And when you put an induction kit on it, it growls a bit more. And eventually when the exhaust is on, it'll be fucking screaming at you. I can't wait. Number 2 is I really like the looks. A lot of people don't like the Mark IV, and interestingly, it's not my favourite Golf. My favourite Golf is a toss-up between the Mark II GTI and the Mark VI GTI R sort of category. And I just love the way that the rear end looks on the Mark VI. and it's even better when it's the Mark 6R. And when it comes to this car, I love the back end. It has got a booty. The rear arches are so flared out. Like, when you think about it, it's the Audi S3 just underneath as well, and that had ridiculous arches on it as well. Like, they just looked at it and went, fuck it, like, we'll have that. The front bumper is also amazing. The seats, like, the seats would be the third thing. These are some of my favourite seats I've ever sat in. When I was originally looking for an R32, my original one I wanted was a DSG Mark V with wingbacks. And after sitting in the wingbacks and feeling like, as you can see, I'm not a little guy. Like, I'm a big fella. And these hug me in my handles, but my shoulders are free. I've got fairly broad shoulders, I'd say, and they are free. But the wingbacks, I just felt on them. These, I feel in them. The fourth thing has to be the all-wheel drive. Obviously not all-wheel drive all the time, it's Haldex. But having driven in this car in the rain, it's noticeable. And pulling off at junctions and racing to 30 miles an hour. My fifth favourite thing about this car has to be the colour. My fifth favourite thing about this car has to be the colour. This deep blue pearl is one of the best VW I've ever seen. Saying that, the only better colours I can think of are probably Nardo Grey, which I do love, and Porsche's Mine Blue. Not Mine Blue, sorry, that's VW's Mine Blue. Porsche's that lovely light blue, like baby blue kind of colour. I have to say one of the best car colours ever is the Midnight Jade from the R34. Jade, Midnight Jade, whatever it is. If I was to get this car resprayed, it would be in that or cream. I don't know why, but I really love the cream colour on the cars. Like, you will have seen on Adam7R on Instagram, he's just bought an M3. You will have seen his car in the cream colour, and it was just fantastic. Things I dislike with this particular one I own are just going to be the usual things, like if I drop this sun visor, you might be able to see that, that's fallen out. Obviously it's just a clip to replace and things. Other than that, I think the rear, it's just an aesthetic thing, but I think the rear brakes could do with being bigger, the discs and the calipers, which is something I might look into. I think the only option for me, I'd probably go with the Brembos off of a Porsche Cayenne. That would be my choice. And there's not really much to dislike about this car. I don't know whether it's just because this is my first fast car. So like with it being my second car, it was a massive jump to drive this. When I was originally looking at one, I drove all the way to Luton to look at an Audi S3, and I saw a black one of these, and it was less price than this. It had less miles though, and it weren't until I looked at that and said, am I alright to have a look around that? And they said, yeah, sure, it's fine, that I thought this could be the car. And it was when I was looking at insurance quotes for the Mark V, I was looking at around £2,100 to £2,200, which at the time I was like, if I can get it cheaper, I will try at least, because I wanted one. But when I was thinking, oh, Audi S3, it's about the same price, 2,000 or 2 and a bit grand, I was thinking, what about the Mark IV? Like, same power output roughly, well, down what, 9 brake? I thought, why not? And it weren't until I checked the insurance and I realised how much cheaper it actually is. And to continue, insurance, if you're interested, I pay about £1,700 on this to £1,600, somewhere between that, which is what I paid for my first year on a Polo. So I thought, if I'm happy to pay the same price for twice the car, why not? Twice the BHP, 2 litre upgrade to the Polo. Obviously you're down a turbo, but just look at it. Like, I think the only people who like it more are the fucking spiders that live in the wing mirror. I think it's got to be one of my favourite cars ever made. With running costs, about £25 a month in tax, which equates to about £265 a year, which isn't too bad. I do around 110 to 120, maybe 130 miles a week at a push, and I'm filling up 30, 40 quid a week, which isn't too bad at all. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse, to be honest. Coming up from the Polo, which did 50 fucking miles to the gallon everywhere it went, and this is, obviously it's overquoted. Oh yeah, you'll do 25 around town, you'll do 35 on the motorway. No you won't, you'll do about 8 round town because it's tight streets and you'll want to rev it, especially when there's an exhaust on it. My MPG is gonna fucking drop. But on the motorway it does about 30. Obviously I've done a good few road trips in this now, like drove to Sheffield and where else? Went to Leicester to pick up the coilovers, went to Brighton, went to London. It is an all-out cruiser. Like, it's so comfy. If you are thinking about buying one, just test drive it. Like, I know obviously you can't please everyone, like different strokes, different folks and all that, but yeah, like, why wouldn't you want one? Look at that. Not me, the car. I know my mum says I'm beautiful, but I've got fuck all on that thing. Now this month, as it's just started, what we're on October the 9th of the day of this recording, I think it's 10th this goes up, and this is gonna be probably one of the most exciting months of me owning this car. So next weekend, we're traveling down to Bury, speaking of road trips, we're going to Bury St Edmunds, and this is getting this exhaust, and I cannot wait. This is gonna be the best point of ownership for this car. Why wouldn't you love it? Like, it's gonna be loud. Very loud, but I can put up with it. Then the week after that, we've got Donington for the Vag Tuner show. I'm on the R32 club stand. No doubt some of the Sheffield dubs will probably make an appearance. I might even try and get a convoy down with them if they want to come, and we'll have a look. And then the week after that, I'll probably do a video on it. It's my friend's Mrs. birthday, so we're all going down to Cardiff. Never been to Cardiff, but this is going, and we're gonna piss off the sheep with a loud noise, and the Welshman bumming them from behind. And finally, the last bit of news. So I round off this video, I have ordered the t-shirts and they're going to be on their way, maybe 2 weeks. We'll try and get some out to people just to see if they like them. Obviously I'll be repping them, I'll probably be wearing them about. We've got 2 different colourways in. We've got black catalytic on a grey tee, and we've got black tee with a white catalytic logo just on the, like the one on the back. But designs will be implemented soon, depending on how quick we can get the word out about the brand. Everything will be much appreciated. If you see these videos and you want these catalytic tees, or you want the designs out, or you want videos, I'm planning on next month should hopefully, fingers crossed, be an introduction to sort of other people's cars. And you'll get, because obviously you're gonna get sick of seeing mine. If you're gonna see the same car every week, I mean, it's not exactly seen through glass, old F-Type, God rest its soul, but that's a dream car. Paul Wallace is from Supercars of London's AMG. Like, it's not one of them. This is more like an attainable car for people. I mean, never did I think that I would be able to own one. Not because of price-wise. They are going up in value a bit, but I never thought, because due to insurance and my job at the age of 21, I'd have one, seeing as I only learnt to drive a year and 2 months ago. But this car has been, I want that to be one of my first faster cars. Thank you so much for, like, if you have stayed this long and watched this video, it could be a bit of a long one, and if this is what you want from a car, then you're going to enjoy it. I would definitely recommend it. As I said, 8.5 out of 10. Good points are the look, sound, the seat. Bad points is it's 13 years old and bits are falling off mine. The colour is another brilliant point. Like, that is the R32 colour. Even in the Mark V, that is the R32 colour. And if you did enjoy it, please remember to leave a like, comment and subscribe. All appreciated, no matter how much help you give. I mean, it boosts the brand. And what more could I want as a creator, as a brand owner? This is Jack, Catalyst UK. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.
My veins are blue and connected, every single bone in my brain is